Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is CoCo, and obviously, this is Chatterbox Podcast, and I am sitting here with the lovely Morgan
Dania.
Dania. I was like, how you want me to go? Okay, Morgan Dania. That sounds so grown. It do. Sound grown. Okay, so let's get right into it. What are you listening to right now?
I'm listening to a little bit of everything. So let me see. The last song, Trey Songz, Tony Braxton, The Baby. I listen to a lot. So it's not really like I'm like, I have to listen to this. I just put my phone on shuffle and let it go. You know what? I think I've been listening to a lot of Meek Mill just because when I work out, that's what like get me up and pumping.
Be like, ah.
And I feel him. I love you, Meek. Shout out to you.
All right, so what have you been reading?
Okay, so I've been reading a few different books. And recently I have been reading The Prince by Machiavelli.
Okay.
I know, right? I'm like trying to get into like deep books that have to entail with like what I'm doing in my life. So The Prince basically is about like a political outlook of the 1900s or the 18 all the way back in back in the day. But it's a really powerful book, and it's like basically a book that teaches you how to become a politician.
Wow.
That's what I'm reading. And I'm proud of what I'm reading because those books are very powerful. But I also wrote down, and I'm so mad I did not bring my planner. I'm sorry. I be having so much to say because it's like I wrote down a list of books that I think, in 2020, the millennials should be reading right now.
Well, whenever you get home or get back to your planner, send that to me and I'll put it in like the comments. I'll put that list down there. Okay, so what are you watching? Are you watching anything right now?
Girl, I don't even watch TV. I should watch like Power and stuff because I know a lot of people watch it and stuff, but I can't keep up with that. I'm like literally too busy in my life to be like watching TV.
I feel it. All right, sure. When you're busy, you're busy. What are your professional job titles? What titles do you hold? And then kind of tell us a teeny bit about those.
Okay. Right now, I'm a business analyst for Cook County government. I'm not going to go into specifics, but basically I handle all like the property tax appeals for Cook County. And that's basically it. And I also do a lot of like outreach work. So I help educate the public about property taxes and how to even lower them, because a lot of times people don't even know what property taxes are, which is unfortunate, but that's just basically.
They don't teach it in any of the schools. It's this information you have to go see.
And not just in school, but it's like older people. Like these are people who like own homes, but now millennials are starting to own and purchase buildings and all kind of stuff, and they don't know about this type of stuff. So yeah, I'm also a school board member for District School Board, Thornton Fractional North, District 215. Yeah, I was elected this past April.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you, girl. It's only been like 6 or 7 months that I've been in this position, and it's super important, and I really love it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love being at the table and knowing what's going on and how to be like an influence. Just more so of having the influence of the decision making. I think that's what I really like about it.
We need somebody in those rooms.
Then I also hold another position. See, I got a lot. That's why I was like thinking so then now I'm also the membership director for the National Black MBA Association. That position, I handle all of like the PR aspects of, the Chicago chapter of this organization. And so I like that a lot because that's just where I get a lot of my opportunity from, like the group itself it's a Black individual group where a lot of business executives, politicians, whoever, and they come together and we help share our network. And I really like that a lot. So, yeah, if you're interested in being a member, come talk to me. Hit me up on my Instagram or something.
Her information will all be linked. Link below. Will all be linked so you guys can get in contact with her.
Cool. So those are my professional titles.
Look, clearly, so she don't got time for TV. Like, she don't have time. She's changing the world. Okay.
Period.
Okay, so what made you choose your line of work? Like, all the things that you're involved in, what made you choose to be a part of that?
Right. So like I said, I like to be in the room where it happens. That's one. But I think why I chose to go the route that I did was because I just wanted to make a difference. Yeah. You know, like I went and got my bachelor's degree in public relations, and then I went and got so my minor was in political science, and then I got a master's in public administration with a concentration in business. So with that being said, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Those all are very broad topics, and you can do any and almost everything within those whole like sectors. Yeah, so that's what I studied in college, and then from there I was like, oh, I want to go into politics. And then what I realized was politics, I mean, it's cool, you know what I'm saying, but that's just not where the money is. So a lot of the politicians on the local and state level have other full-time jobs on top of being a politician. So then that's when I started branching off into the business aspect of things. And then I was just like, I liked to be a mover and a shaker. So that's kind of how I got involved. I like to network. I'm very good with networking. I don't know how and why, but I just am.
It's like you got your niche.
So I did a TED Talk on the power of networking.
Yes. Look, y'all, look. Go ahead.
It's crazy because who was I talking to? This is how that happened. So I joined the National Black MBA Association randomly. Like, I've never heard of this association before. I just started Googling stuff, and this popped up. And I was like, okay, yeah, I want to be in politics, because they also have a national, like, public administration association as well. But I went to their, like, meetings, and I didn't feel like I fit in. And I'm like, how is it that I don't fit in, and I went to school for this type of work? Like, this is my field. What's going on? So I looked at the MBA, National Black MBA. So then I went to their stuff, and I instantly fit in, and it was like comfortable for me. Like, I felt comfortable. So I'm like, all right, cool. And so I went to the conference. Mind you, I didn't know anybody. Like, I just met these people, and then I went to conference, and from there I networked my butt off. I was just like,
you was hustling and finessing, and look.
Okay, and so I was like meeting so many high executive people, and I'm listening to what they saying. I'm writing notes down, writing quotes down, and all types of stuff. And you know, I came back, and then they offered the opportunity for me to be the membership director, and I instantly was like, yes. I mean, if this can open up doors for me, then I'll take it. And so from there, the president of the chapter was like, you should educate people on how to network. So that's where I got an opportunity to come and talk on the TED Talk, and then boom, I was like, the power of networking.
How was that experience for you? Because I like TED Talks. TED Talks are really cool to listen to.
It was scary because at first I was like, when my school, they hosted the TEDx, so it's the smaller version, you know, it's the smaller platform. And so, you know, I had reached out to them, or they reached out to me, whatever, and I was like, I accepted it, and I was just like, okay, now I got to figure out what I'm going to talk about. And I was so nervous, but it was just, I shared my experience on how I got from then at that point where I was to where but now I feel like I need to do another one.
Right, you got so many more titles now.
I got like so much more stuff that I don't know, that's crazy. But
because you're gonna be on a mainstream.
Right, the mainstream, exactly. But you know, overall, it was a good platform. I was the only female African American woman, so it was just like, I had to. And then I felt like God sent me there for a reason. So just go on ahead, knock it out, do what you got.
You got to do. Let them know that you deserve to be there. Okay, so as a member of the board, so just to go back to that specific title that you hold, as a member of the board, what issues or policies should our listeners be aware of, and how can members of the community help? What can they do to be involved?
So, because I can't say too much, because it's very fine lines with that type.
And trying to get you in trouble, say what you can.
I will say that being on the board, they instantly put me as chairman of the equity committee. So this is like a brand new committee that we are trying to build from the ground up. And when I came into the position, they were like, oh, this is what we want to do, but we're going to give this project to you. And I was like, okay. So basically with that, an equity committee, what we're trying to do is create like equity across the whole district for the students as far as resources. This is a very, very, very important role because that entails everything that the district offers when it comes down to funding, when it comes down to, just resources as far as everything. So my role into this new position is to make sure every student has exactly what they need as far as equity. So right now what I did was I held an application process. So I'm having like subcommittees and the students will get involved because obviously I'm here to represent the students. I feel like I'm talking and rambling.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna keep you focused so you good.
So the students, I'm here, like, obviously I got elected and I ran my campaign based on the fact that I'm a young individual, young black woman who's trying to represent the students, and they can have me to come to the table and be like, this is what we want. So I had an application process, or we, because it's collectively, had an application process where students applied to the equity committee, and right now we're in the midst of sending those applications out for the people we approved for the committee. So it's really cool because I'm really going to challenge these students to
be a part of
like politics in a sense.
Cool. See, and is there any if a student who didn't know about this has a concern about the policies that are put into, I guess, action in their schools or whatever their district, is there any way? How do they make something happen? How do they change something? Do they come to you, or do they like? What does that process look like for somebody who's concerned about that district?
So someone internal as far as within the school district, or external?
Maybe like a parent.
The parents, they got the parent, the PTA, like the teacher parent kind of committee. So like everybody got their own little committee, you know what I'm saying? So either like the president of the teacher or the parent committee or something, like, I don't remember exactly the name of the committee, but it's like they each all have their own presidents, and those people, it's a whole line of hierarchy that you go. It's crazy. But like, for example, if a student wanted to do something, what they could do is, honestly, they could reach out to me personally. I try to make myself very personable. Like, although I'm not always at the school events and at the stuff, like, I try to come to what I can, and when I do, I'm like, I look like them, you know? Like, I look like them, and they like, oh, you, and then I'm super down to earth. Like, I'm very approachable, so, like, I pass out my email if they have any questions, you know, of course, all professional work, you know, through my professional email, but I try, like, this is what I'm here for, so, you know. That's basically that. But if it was a parent or something, they could either come to the board meetings and we have like a comment section and they can get up and say how they feel. And yeah, it's easier for a parent to be like, this is what we want done. But it's not easy for these high school kids to get up and be like, this is how we feel. You know what I'm saying?
And they're the ones who it like affects directly.
Exactly. Right. So that's why I'm pretty much like, that was my drive. And when I was like running, that was kind of like my, motivation in a sense. But really what kind of got me into that was, at first I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to like run. Like, I was doubting myself. I really was just trying to do it just to see what will happen. If this was for me, this was like the beginning of like my political career. And so I was like, this is not too much pressure. You know, it's not an obligation. Like, a lot of politicians get paid and this is a volunteer position. So I'm like, okay, I don't want that much pressure. Let me just see what will happen. Girl, I won, surprisingly, but I was just like, once I started campaigning, that's when it got real for me.
You're like, oh, this is something that I've committed to this.
Yeah, and I didn't have like any ulterior motives. And like, again, when I was campaigning, I'm knocking on doors and I'm seeing like students who live in, like small like garages and they don't really have a home, and it was really sad. And I'm like, being in high school, I didn't think about this. Like, I didn't think they're like my friends, or not my friends, but other students in the district lived like this, So it's just crazy. But that's what I was like, okay, this is.
It gave you more purpose behind it. That's lovely, man. That's dope, because you think of it as like maybe stumbling into this realm, but it was already like set for you to be a part of this, and they needed, you to be that person.
Right. But I love it because it's so rewarding. Like, the kids, I feel like nowadays are smarter.
Yes.
They're smart, like, and that's only because they be trying to be grown too. They be trying to be a little grown. But they really smart. So it's just dope to see how they do things now differently. Looking back, I'm like, I wish we would have did something like that.
Hindsight is 2020, man. Because I definitely was not concerned about none of that.
I wasn't either.
I'm just now getting concerned with the stuff that's going on around me.
In high school, I wasn't thinking about politics. I wasn't thinking about the news, and I wasn't thinking about none of that stuff. So I'm just surprised to see these kids actually doing that. For example, at TF North, unfortunately, there were 2 students who passed away due to like gun violence, and so the school or the kids actually arranged a ceremony, like a walkout ceremony. So the kids walked out onto the track and they did like a balloon release and they did a whole ceremony, and it went like viral basically. And I was just like, that was amazing, because of course when I was in high school, I knew a lot of kids who got shot or passed away or died from an illness, and we didn't think to put something together for them. We might have did something in their tribute or something, but it was like, this is gonna be held at their house or whatever.
If you want to go.
Right. So it was just cool. And they brought out a lot of elected officials. They brought out the parents. They brought out people from the community, people from the county, from the state, So it was just like, they so smart. Like, I'm just so proud of them. I think that also, that's why I'm also in this position, because maybe like, if kids nowadays see people like us in these positions, they'll probably kind of like the light bulb will click on a little earlier for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, going back again, we didn't put these types of events on for, our people. And, I think that's because we didn't see our people, like, we didn't see them doing this type of stuff. We didn't see, like, I didn't have a young person on the school board that I could email and ask for help. I didn't have that. So
that's how we get things done.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't even know who the school board members were in high school. I'm like, what is the school board? But a lot of the kids know me, and like, I'm personable. So I think that that helps when it comes to stuff like this.
You remember like coming up and everybody being older than us, like your doctors, your teachers, everybody was older than us. And now you look around, it's like, wait a minute, everybody who's in these positions is literally like my peers. My teachers are my age. Lawyers are that's so crazy. So we are who that was now.
I went to the doctor. This is a side note, but like, my doctor and my dentist are both like young, beautiful black girl, like women. Yeah. And I'm like, how old are y'all? Like, and they were just like, oh, we're 30 or we're 27, 28. And I'm like, this is great. Yeah, we in the same gen. You still a millennial too. So I'm just like, wow, that's crazy how like, I agree with what you're saying.
It's good to see our peers, but it's crazy to see that, oh, we're there now. That's us now. It's our responsibility. So tell me about your transition from being a student into the workforce and the political field. So obviously, if you guys don't know, Morgan has her master's degree, right? You have your master's. So you've been in school for quite some time, and you just started to transition into the other realm. So tell us about that.
So when I went to school, it was 2012? That's when I graduated from high school. So when I went to school, I actually went to a predominantly white university, or PWI, as some people say. And I mean, granted, it wasn't typical for me to do that. Like, that wasn't something I was like, I have to go to this. Like, no, my dream school was like Georgetown or Hampton or somewhere in DC. Like, I really wanted to be in DC at a HBC. So I know Georgetown ain't a HBC, but it's still in the populated area, right? That was just like, I just went there because I had scholarship money, things like that. But once I got there, I'm not gonna lie, it taught me how to be a black woman. And that's so surprising. Like, I say that all the time. I'm like, granted, I would have loved to go to a HBCU, but I really feel like I wouldn't have been as successful at a HBCU like I am now. I feel like I would have been just a number because there's so many.
Right, there's so many. You wouldn't have stood out.
Yeah. But girl, at Northern Michigan, because that's where I went, Northern Michigan University. So there, I was like the only black girl in a lot of my classes. I hung out with a lot of like predominantly Caucasian groups and stuff, and so it was just different. But I loved the experience because it really taught me how to be strong. It really taught me how to go for what I want. It taught me how to go with the flow sometimes. And I say that because it's like you shouldn't go with the flow, but you got to act accordingly in certain situations. I've learned that the hard way. The hard way. What else? So that was that. But my whole transition happened when I got my master's. So after I got my bachelor's, that was 2016, and I just didn't feel like it was enough for me. I was like, this is it? And now I gotta go find a job? Like, this is it? Like, it's not enough. I'm still competing with people who's getting masters and PhDs. Like, I'm like trying to be up there, and a bachelor's ain't enough. So then I just went back. I had another scholarship, and I just continued straight, and then I finished school in like 6 years. It was like 6 years. Yeah, of college.
Here, the credentials keep going up and up. You gotta have this, now you gotta have that. I'm like,
Right. So, once I finished school, it took me almost a year, but I had an internship with Calumet City Hall. So I was working there as an intern for a while, and that's like in the political arena. So I got a chance to see that. And then from there, I started, again, networking. I then landed another internship with a law firm because I was like, maybe I might just go back to school because it was taking so long to get a job with benefits and stuff. So I'm like, that just happened like a year ago for me. But I'm saying it took so long to the point that I was like, I might as well just go back to school and go get a law degree, And I'm still considering that option, just not right now.
look at her. She should keep on adding to the credentials.
Got to. Because it's like every year, like you said, stuff like it decreases, it devalues, So, and you got to keep yourself educated, even if it is just a certification or like taking a class. It's important because being black as a woman,
you got to work like 20 times harder than anybody else. Absolutely. So I'm glad that you're saying that because, look, if you're watching or you're listening, make sure that you take heed, get the education. So whether that means going back to school or getting a certification or reading more, whatever it is, add to your value, get more information.
So yeah, that's just with my transition. It was very hard, and this is what I want to tell people out there who's like getting ready to transition or getting ready to graduate or whatever. Like, just take your time, do your research. I want to say yes to everything, but also know when to say no.
Yeah, have discernment.
Yeah.
Don't just be out here doing anything.
Right. And yeah, that's basically it. I mean, and it's going to take some time. Like, nothing happens all in one day.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to be in the corporate or political arena? So these are just people who want to be kind of in the same rooms where, where things are happening.
What would I tell myself back then?
Let's do that then. Let's answer it that way. What did you wish you knew? Because that's another question.
I wish I would have knew what I knew now back then, but obviously with time and you have to learn those type of things. But if I could tell my past self something, it'll probably be like, enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment because, girl, like, I feel like I'm so focused with a lot of stuff that I just don't take time to enjoy moments. Like, I be like, okay,
next.
Accomplished it. What's next? Okay, next. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I just really don't take the time to be like, whew, let me take a deep breath. Like, everything is on the right track. I'm doing well. Like, I'm on the right track to do this and be great. Just take your time. Calm down. Like, that's stuff that I probably would tell myself back then.
Okay. But it's such a conundrum because it's like if you would have slowed down, then maybe you wouldn't have been in this space. But it's a blessing that you are in a space to be able to even reflect, and now you can take that moving forward.
Right, absolutely. Because now, like I said, with today, I'm still counting on my blessings and stuff, and I'm very grateful. So it's like I have to enjoy those blessings before I just jump to the next one. Like, I'm like, okay, go ahead, girl. And I don't want to be too old before I'm like, dang, I did this and I didn't even take the time to celebrate. Right.
You want a whole election. Like, people voted for you, just for the record. Like, people voted for you.
I did a lot in 2019. I accomplished a lot, and I didn't even realize it until just like 2 days ago. Like, now that the end of the year is approaching, I'm still looking at a few more things that I'm trying to accomplish before December come up in like 3 weeks. So I'm like, oh, wait, calm down, Morgan, because you literally did a lot. And I had wrote out a whole list of things that I accomplished, and it was like maybe over 10 to 12 things that I did. I was like, wow.
Things too, it seems. That's actually a good idea. Like whenever you kind of forget who you are, or you forget like how raw you are, like sit down, write everything that you've accomplished that year. That's a good like exercise to remind yourself how dope you are.
Almost every quarter, because it's 4 quarters in a year. I do that almost every quarter. I'm like, okay, this is what I did. This is what I want to do. And every time I sit down and I write it and I manifest it. Manifestation is very, very big. And that's probably, if I did a TED Talk on a bigger platform, the power of manifestation, that would be my topic.
So TED Talk, reach out.
Reach out to me, because I would definitely talk about some things I manifested. You hear me?
Okay, so lightning round. We're going to close out because we only got like 5 minutes before they kick us out. Okay, you ready?
Yes. Do I answer these quick? Like,
First thing that comes to your mind. Okay, your favorite color.
green? Sorry. Because I was going to say purple, because I have 2 favorite colors.
Okay, purple, green. All right, gum or mints?
Gum.
Okay, summer, fall, spring, or winter?
Spring.
Okay. The moon or the sun?
The sun.
Birthday dinner or a party?
Party.
Water with fruit or water without?
With fruit.
Heels or sneakers?
Heels all day, baby. I got heels on right now.
All day, baby. I'm dead.
You know, I get a lot of stuff done with heels.
You do with that what you look. All right. Well, Morgan Dania, thank you so much for talking with me today. I think we learned so much, and I hope that all my listeners and watchers or viewers get something from this. So thank you for speaking with me.
Yes, and please go follow me on Instagram.
Oh, yes. Oh, my bad. It's going to be in the information, but say it.
Oh, yeah, okay. So follow me on Instagram at Morgan Dania. That's MorganDania, because people always get that wrong.
It's going to be like in the info. So if you missed it, rewind it back or look in the bio. It's going to be there. And tell them what your favorite podcast is.
Chatterbox.
Woo woo.
Period.
Period.
And cut.
Cut. Right.